Hello, this is a short video of my project building the Bandai 1/4 scale Millennium Falcon from the Force Awakens. This is an absolutely amazing kit. You open the box and you look at the parts, and the level of detail on this thing is it's just amazing. It's out of this world, and it's a snap together kit, which it really is. There's very little of it that I actually cemented, just for sort of good measure, really. But a lot of it you can press together and it stays put, and there's no gaps or anything. It's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I built it pretty much straight from the box. The big thing I did do is the top of the kind of a corridor that leads out to the cockpit. The detail on that, for some reason, is all extruded. It's all sort of up proud of the corridor, and on the actual original models, there's kind of a trench, and the stuff is sort of, you can see pipes and the usual doodads in there. And this almost looks like it's a reverse of that. It's like the geometry got swapped backwards or something. Anyway, it's this big sort of knobbly block that runs along that spine, which is kind of wrong. So I cut that off, and then I cut the trench out, and then I went in and thinned out the plastic as much as I could, and then found the tiniest pieces of sort of plastic and sprue and actually wire, and sort of put that in there to try and reproduce the same incredibly small, incredibly fine details that are sort of on the rest of the kit. And I did a reasonable job. I think it looks pretty good, but yeah, it's just crazy how precise the details on this thing are. I painted the figures inside to look like the way the figures look in The Empire Strikes Back. So I'm not sure who you actually get in the Force Awakens kit, but I'm pretty sure it's Chewbacca, Rey, Finn, and somebody else. I don't know. But anyway, I painted the skinniest one sort of gold for C-3PO, and I think probably the Rey character as well. I painted as Leia in her Empire Strikes Back kind of get up, and then obviously Chewbacca and Han Solo sort of at the front, and get a really beautiful, sort of detailed cockpit. So I, did all that and put the canopy on. The other thing that I was going to do, because I'm not a fan of the rectangular Force Awakens dish, so I thought, okay, well, I can probably scratch build the dish. So I got a ping pong ball, table tennis ball, cut out a circle from that was the right size, and then started using bits of plastic card and plastruct and a few little odds and ends from the spares box to sort of make the classic antenna from. But it quickly became apparent that because everything else on the kit just looks so good, my modeling skills at that size, certainly, well, my modeling skills period, but certainly building a dish that was probably not even an inch across, and all the detail that needs to go on there was not going to happen. It was going to stand out. So I went with an idea I'd sort of been toying with for a while, which was to basically do the Return of the Jedi, end of the Return of the Jedi version, where the dish has been, broken off when it's going through the tunnels in the Death Star. So I sort of scratch built in a few little bits and pieces of, of whatever the remainder of that stuff is, which I don't think there really is anything in the movie, but I put a few sort of bits of, bent metal and some sculpting sort of over the top of that to do that. I did realize that probably wouldn't make too much sense without a bit of context, so I self-fabricated this base and stand, covering it in rainbow effect decals to kind of emulate that kind of very kind of brightly lit, very colorful look inside those tunnels, inside the Death Star, and then just glued lots of bits of sprue and some old pens and basically anything that looked kind of like the interior of those tunnels. I intentionally avoided anything too detailed and just tried to keep everything sort of in vertical lines to sort of subconsciously convey a little bit of a sense of speed. Didn't put any sort of real weathering on there or anything. Tried to keep it sort of graphic. So it kind of works. I'm not sure, but it was an interesting project. But the big work on this thing was really the painting. So I was pretty had a lot of reference of the original model, figuring out where the different panels were, where it's more and less weathered. There's a streaking, there's kind of rust. It's pretty interesting. And then the original color, it's a very sort of off-white ivory, not grey. It's actually much grayer and a much more of a bluey grey in Empire and Jedi, but certainly in Star Wars, it's very sort of you know, ivory colored. And then, yeah, sort of painted all the details and all the panels. You do get a lot of parts for the landing gear, which I didn't want to. I just didn't want it on the landing gear. I wanted it flying. And you also get parts for the engine, the grill, which was sort of introduced in the special editions. It's kind of like this crisscross mesh. You get parts for that as if the engine is sort of either warming up or switched off. But I sort of wanted to go with, again, that sort of classic look without lighting it. So again, I found another one of these rainbow effect decals. I'm really into these rainbow effect decals right now, which are basically sort of stickers or paper that has sort of prismatic quality to it. So I found a sort of silvery one, so that depending on how it catches the light, it looks a little sort of organic and a bit sort of, you know, like there's some light thing going on. It's kind of a hack, but given that you don't really see it unless you're actually looking at that part of the ship, I think it's okay. So anyway, that's it. Pretty quick video. That's a simple build, went together beautifully, very nicely designed kit, and yeah, as you would imagine, it's all in the painting and just making sure you get all the little details in there. But yeah, you know, obviously Millennium Falcon's a classic ship, really nice kit, and I thought putting it in this sort of Return of the Jedi quasi diorama would be kind of fun. So hope you like it. Leave any comments or questions below, and subscribe if you can, and like and all that good stuff. And yeah, tune in soon for another video. Thanks a lot.